G'day and welcome back to Semen Retention. So I haven't actually uploaded a talking vid for a little bit. I've actually been pretty busy. If you can see behind me, there's a little whiteboard. There's about 11 songs on there. So I've been really prioritizing getting a lot of guitars down on my songs and pushing Semen Retention channel just a little bit to the side, but I was always monitoring it and having a look at what was going on. People had some comments, nice comments to say, so I responded to you all. So thank you all so much for watching and subscribing to the channel. Also noticed that even when I wasn't posting videos, the subscriber count was still going up. So I want to kind of talk about the importance of just letting things grow and not necessarily forcing things to grow. So when I'm thinking about growth, I'm a hobbyist gardener. I plant seeds, do all these things, get things going in my backyard. I grow some pumpkins. I'm actually going to show you the things that I've grown because I think it's just, it's interesting. So I got these pumpkins from an organic, locally sourced company, and this pumpkin I got as part of my weekly kind of grocery kind of thing, and from the seeds, because it's organic and natural, I basically planted that into my garden, and I think I managed to get about four or five pumpkins out of it. Gave one to my sister, one to my parents, and kept two for myself. And it's one of those things that you set it in the garden, you do a little bit of watering. Sometimes you might even not water it, but it's still growing. And that's the whole message of today, is that you don't have to constantly water things, you don't have to constantly pick things. I remember my mum when I was a kid, if she ever saw like a little scab or like a little thing on my head or something like that, she'd like obsess over it, and then it's like people don't grow in those kind of environments. As soon as I moved out of my parents' house, my wings like shot out. They expanded fully. It's crazy when you. And let me know if you guys have experienced the same thing when you've moved out of your parents' home and like your growth has just been like exponentially off the radar kind of thing. Like it's amazing to know what happens when you were just left in your own space, and combining this with the discipline of semen retention, it's just accelerating. I've been still reading the Brahmachari text. I'll do a review of that. But as I said in a previous video, when you're on semen retention, for myself, I find that I oscillate between Brahmacharya, which is like complete purity and monk-like habits, to semen retention, which is just the practice of holding onto your seed. So it's just that kind of oscillation for me. I haven't attained full brahmacharya, and I don't even know if I ever will. I don't know if it's part of what I need to do in this lifetime. I don't know, but semen retention feels right for me. I might get into details as to the real difference and the benefits of both, but I don't really care. I'm just going with the flow. So going back to my point of seeing like the subscribers go up on my channel and all that kind of stuff without me putting any effort in making any videos. It's like things that you understand on semen retention, just basically like, putting value into things, having a conversation on your project like this. Semen retention for me is a good way of providing value to other people that maybe aren't on a year streak, or maybe they are on a year streak, or maybe they're on 3 years streak but haven't had the same kind of texts or videos or insights that I've had, because we're all different, we're all learning different things, Some people use semen retention as a way of building muscle and a very strong physical presence, which I think is admirable. Some people use them, like me, I use it towards my creative pursuits. And yeah, either way, I'm just another person documenting their semen retention journey, and there's nothing wrong with that. I encourage everyone to document their semen retention journey. So yeah, if you're kind of thinking, when am I going to see when am I going to see the results? Okay, I'm going to use music as an analogy because I always do. So right here on this whiteboard, there are 11 songs. I'm going to just go through when I kind of first conceived each song idea, okay? So this one started out as a riff I wrote when I was 16 years old, and then I combined it with some other riffs that I wrote in September 2023. I've still got the voice memo of it. So that one is almost as old as 2012, okay? 2011. This one, September 2023. This one, 2020, lockdown 2020 era. This one, 2018, one of the riffs, and even the chorus was like 2018. This one, I wrote it all pretty much last year in December, November. This one, 2020 era. This one, 2018, 2019 circa. This one started out it was a riff when I was 16 years old. Actually, one of the first riffs I ever wrote. This one, probably 2022. This one, 2024. This one, 2022. So, what's the year today? 2025. Have I wrote songs and released songs before those songs? Yes, I have. Heaps of songs. But sometimes I just haven't really cultivated the full meaning of the song and where I'm at as far as a technique, an insight, a vision. I don't have alignment with the initial idea. Yeah. So let's say you're an author, you write books, you've got these characters and you've got this brilliant character, but then suddenly you write another character and you start going into depth about what they're about, and it's just flowing, and then you create like these sub characters for the protagonist, and you realize they're now the protagonist, they're like the main person, and then suddenly you've got this whole story, and that other character that you wrote before doesn't really fit into the story. So you can't force them in there. You have to either find a way that they can maybe become something of it, or who knows, like maybe you just got to put them on the shelf, hang them on the wall, and then after that you're going to come back after you've finished that project, and maybe you'll find a place for it, or maybe it will be 10 years, 11 years, whatever it's going to be. Like, you don't need to be attached to time when you're on semen retention. You should just trust the process. I know it's cliche. I know everyone's said this thousands and thousands of times before, but if I didn't trust the process, I wouldn't have ever even released any songs. I never even knew of that term, trust the process, when I was like 15 years old and releasing music on SoundCloud, I think it was. Yeah, SoundCloud and MySpace was actually the first place I released a song. I released a song on MySpace when I was probably like 14, 15 years old, and I got some cool feedback from friends. It was very shit. It wasn't a good song at all, But you know, my peers were kind of like, oh, cool, and all that kind of stuff. But the point is that I just did it because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create, and at that age, I was pure as well. I was, you know, completely like free from all these kind of lustful kind of urges. I was just making music. That's all I was doing. I didn't have to overanalyze it. You know, I was just making music. I was just creating. That's all it is. Um, so yeah, as I've gotten older, you know, yeah, and with, it's like married to the concept of being a Kuma. That's when I became analytical. That's when I became, yeah, like I like to use the term intellectually master, you know. Um, that's what happens, is that you kind of overuse your mind. You try and, I used to write a lot of plans. I used to write a lot of lists. But these days, I don't care about lists. Like, I really don't. I have a list of songs that have made the short list of the album, and that's going to be the album. But I didn't write out every single song I knew and was like, okay, no, it just all came through the process. I didn't force myself to write a song every single day. Some days I'd write, there's like quite a few times if you go on my phone, there's like, you know, maybe like 3 different song ideas that I did within the space of like 20 minutes. And then there's like maybe like a 5-month break, or you know, there's like periods where I'll be able to like really focus and hone in on like a set of music and craft it into something. But I'm finding with Semen Retention, that's become even more refined. That's becoming more focused. Like, it's just, yeah, like when you don't have all those distractions, when you're not chasing passion, that passion comes through whatever your creation is going to be. And I was just listening to the bassist in my band came over the other day and laid down the bass. I already had the drum parts down from the drummer. He put the drums down, and then the bassist came down. And then yesterday I started like listening back to some of the mixes, and I was just like, oh yeah, come on. Like, I felt like I was getting pumped by my own music. I felt like testosterone was just like shooting through my veins. You know, when something's so good, you just want to break someone's neck and like punch them in the face. It's just, I just think it's, yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know. I'm sure you can relate to this, surely. It's just like one of those things where the energy is so high, you know, the the music or whatever it is you do, like a sport, maybe you're doing some reps and you just feel super jacked, and you just like, I just want to like fucking, just want to slap a Kuma across the face, or just like fucking, I'm swearing too much. Not even monetized yet, doesn't matter. um, but yeah, you know, that's the thing, is that like this practice is so good because that passion and that that drive channels through, and when you hear it channeled through into something that is pure, like completely pure. So I'm talking about this album, yeah. Let me adjust my little selfie stick. Yeah, basically, this whole album, since I decided on the songs that I was going to compile, has been on pure semen retention. So, all these 11 songs, everything that I record in its final piece, every lyric that I make is going to be on pure semen retention. Okay, some of these that are old, like, you know, when I was like 16 and all that kind of stuff, even the ones in 2020, when I was like semi-aware of semen retention, the ideas weren't necessarily pure, but the execution of the ideas are 100% pure, which is inspiring when you hear it back when you hear it back through the speakers, when you hear your own creation that you made through pure semen retention, and you hear it back, or you know, you see the physical results in your body, that is nothing short of like godlike inspiration. I don't know how much more I can, pump this up. It's just that simple. If you resonate with this, please let me know. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day or night. Have a great sleep. I'll talk to you later. Siri's going off, so I'm going to end this video. Thank you for watching Semen Retention. Peace out, dudes.